Stevie Nicks, the timeless enchantress of rock whose voice has woven spells of longing and liberation across decades, from the swirling mists of Fleetwood Mac's rumors to the solitary incantations of her solo masterpieces, recently opened a window into the quiet alchemy of her recovery from a painful shoulder fracture. This injury, which forced her to step back from the stage earlier in the year and cancel a handful of cherished performances, became an unexpected interlude of introspection, where the rhythms of contemporary melodies and the echoes of her own storied past converged to cradle her through days of discomfort and nights of enforced stillness. In a candid exchange with a leading entertainment publication, Nicks revealed how music, curated with the meticulous care of a high priestess tending her altar, transformed immobility into a gentle voyage, carried aloft on waves of sound that soothed both body and spirit. The fracture itself was a jarring interruption to Nicks' perennial motion, a life defined by the hypnotic sway of her signature shawls and the fervent energy of live communion with fans. At 76, with a career that spans over 5 decades of touring, recording, and reinventing, such a setback might have daunted lesser souls. Yet, for Nicks, whose lyrics often dance on the precipice of vulnerability, Landslide, a poignant meditation on time's inexorable shift, Rhiannon, a Welsh myth reborn in ethereal howl, the pause was fertile ground. She returned to the stage in October, her shoulder mending but her essence undimmed, belting out anthems with the same fierce grace that has defined her. But in the preceding months, confined to bed and the soft confines of her home, Nicks turned inward, not to despair, but to the vast ocean of sound that has always been her North Star. "I'm all over the internet," she confessed with a light-hearted chuckle, a confession that belies her roots in the analog era of vinyl grooves and cassette whispers. "I listen to a lot of current bands." This digital foray, a bridge across generational chasms, became her lifeline, a portal to worlds beyond the ceiling's unyielding stare. Central to her healing ritual were the luminous indie acts that captured her imagination, the Midnight with their vaporwave-infused synth-pop that evokes neon-lit highways of the soul, the White Kites whose folk-tinged electronica soars like autumn leaves caught in a benevolent gale, and Night Traveler, purveyors of introspective ballads that unravel the quiet unravelings of the heart. These weren't passive listens. They were deliberate immersions, hours spent with headphones cradling her ears like a lover's hands, allowing melodies to seep into the marrow of her weariness. "And all through my recovery I've listened," Nicks shared, her words laced with the quiet reverence of one who knows music's dual role as tormentor and tonic. "That's the one thing that I have done physically through this recovery, is to really listen to all this younger music that I love. And when I wasn't feeling well at all, it just carried me on a cloud through this whole thing." Imagine the scene. Sunlight filtering through gauzy curtains in her Phoenix sanctuary, the air scented with sage and the faint metallic tang of pain relievers, as tracks like The Midnight's Vampires pulse with retrofuturist hope, transforming the ache in her shoulder into a distant hum, overshadowed by basslines that promised dawn after endless dusk. This curation was no haphazard scrolling. It was an extension of Nicks' lifelong artistry, where every playlist echoes the intentionality of her songcraft. "All my tapes are really curated by me," she emphasized, invoking the tactile joy of her pre-digital days when she'd splice reels of tape in dimly lit studios, layering harmonies like spells in a grimoire. "I'm not high-tech at all." Yet, adaptation is the hallmark of Nicks' legend, from the folk-rock troubadour of the 70s Arizona coffeehouse scene to the pop enchantress collaborating with modern sirens like Taylor Swift on Karma. In the past 5 or 6 years she's tentatively embraced streaming siren call, platforms like Pandora and Spotify serving as modern oracles. "I push the thumbs up. Love this. Don't love that. Love this," she described, her ritual a thumb war with algorithms, refining feeds into bespoke elixirs. It's a far cry from the communal listening sessions of Fleetwood Mac's heyday, where bandmates sprawled in Malibu mansions, debating Mick Fleetwood's primal drums against Lindsey Buckingham's intricate guitars. But in solitude, this solitary thumbs up became a declaration of agency, a way to summon sounds that mirrored her fractured state, fragile yet resilient, yearning yet anchored. The physical toll of the injury amplified music's medicinal pull. "Just to lay in bed and stare at the ceiling is not my idea of a good time," Nicks admitted, her tone a blend of wry humor and honest fatigue. Immobility chafed against her gypsy spirit, the one that once propelled her through marathon tours, from the Tusk era's experimental excesses to the Mirage yacht rock reveries. But sound stirred motion where limbs could not. "That kept me dancing to a point, just kind of Snoop-dogging around my place," she revealed, conjuring a vivid tableau of gentle sways and foot shuffles, arm in sling, channeling the laid-back groove of the rap icon amid indie reveries. Because you can be pretty beat up and you can still dance if inspirational music comes on. Here, Nyx taps into an ancient truth: rhythm as rebellion, movement as medicine. Science whispers agreement. Studies from institutions like the Cleveland Clinic affirm music's role in pain modulation. Dopamine cascades easing inflammation, endorphins flowing freer than before. For Nyx, it was visceral. A track's crescendo lifting her from the bed's gravitational pull, turning recovery's monotony into a private concert, where she was both audience and performer, the ultimate aficionado. "The power of music to heal you is amazing," she proclaimed, a statement that resonates like a chorus from her canon. "If I didn't have those tapes, I don't know what I would have done." This isn't hyperbole, it's testimony from a woman whose lifeblood is melody. Nyx's discography brims with healings. Belladonna solo debut, a phoenix rising from band turmoil, Leather and Lace, a duet with Don Henley that mends romantic fractures. The shoulder setback, perhaps born of a slip on tour's unforgiving stages or the cumulative wear of decades wielding microphones like scepters, echoed these themes. A body betraying its vessel, yet the spirit demanding continuance. In her listening she found not escape but confrontation, lyrics probing wounds, beats binding them. The Midnight's nostalgic synths recalled her own 80s opulence, bell-bottomed and bold. Night Traveler's whispers mirrored the introspective hush of post-divorce solitude. Yet, Nyx's recovery playlist wasn't solely forward-gazing. It looped back to origins, a homecoming to Buckingham Nyx, the elusive 1973 album she crafted with ex-lover and Fleetwood Mac co-architect Lindsey Buckingham. This artifact, pressed once and vanished like a comet's tail, captures their pre-fame alchemy, raw harmonies,